The projector is a tool, an efficient, rugged, easy to use tool. Ah, but the proof is in the running. So, swing out the folding reel arms, fasten the drive belts, and it's ready to thread. Oh yes, don't forget the film. This projector is the easiest and fastest to thread. Most people can do it in 30 seconds or less. Whoa now, just a minute. Do that again a little slower. First, feed the film under the first sprocket. These sprockets have twice the teeth of most sprockets, thus less wear and tear on the film. And the spring-loaded sprocket shoe keeps the film firmly but gently in place. Form the upper loop and pass the film through the heart of the projector, the easy access gate. Here the film is engaged by the Stellite claw. Stellite, one of the hardest metals known to man, never wears out. Never tears the film. The film is gently embraced by a nylon pressure pad fore and aft, relieved to reduce wear, easy to reach for cleaning. Close the gate, form the lower loop to the guide marker, and pass it over the dynamically balanced sound drum where the sound is picked up. Thread the film under the lower sprocket. There are only two in this machine. Under a damper roller, which helps prevent film breakage, and onto the even tension take-up, which adds the ultimate in-film protection. And now for a running test, to get everything set. Turn the new fuse-saving power switch to start the motor. Listen how quiet it runs. And now, the lamp.
This charming little thing was actually christened Tinkerbell McDillingfitty. She's a sweet and lovely girl, but she has a rather poor memory. Sometimes she forgets to brush her teeth. Sometimes she leaves homework at home. And sometimes she forgets to look at traffic signals. Now she knows that she should. She knows that she should ride just like auto drivers drive. But she's so busy being happy all the time that her little thoughts tend to wander and... Oh, dear, dear, they're wandering again. Ooh. Here she goes. Exit Tinkerbell McDillingfitty. She forgot now and then.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, once every 6 seconds, day and night, weekdays and holidays, another automobile accident adds to the toll of death, injury, and property damage. This tragedy and waste can become even more terrible unless we learn that accidents can be prevented and determine that they shall be. In general, accidents don't just happen. They are caused. Among the principal causes, are carelessness, impatience, inattention, recklessness, act, or loss of the basic driving skills. No one can become a really safe driver. He rids himself of these fundamental faults until he stops taking an occasional chance and until he comes to know his limitations as a driver.
But then, there's another handy way to get around and have fun doing it. The Renault Dauphine, the car made in France to make driving fun again. Balloons, please. Now, there's lots to talk about, so let's make the camera go fast. Watch for the fun car with the balloons. First, see the Dauphine's maneuverability in traffic. Look how it gets around and how it corners. Special axle design does that. And see how it accelerates and climbs. Driving economy gets up to 40 miles a gallon. Parking? The big car couldn't get in the space. But watch this. With the Renault Dauphine, everybody's an expert. Lots of room for you to park inside. Handy as roller skates and twice the fun. Even has a city horn and a country horn. That's the Renault Dauphine. At any of 600 coast-to-coast sales, service, and parts headquarters. Won't you try it?
With safety first and always in their minds, the traffic bureaus throughout the country everywhere have given motorists the guidance of signal lights to tell them when to stop and tell them when to go in safety. There are many types of signal lights used in traffic control today. Some towns use lights with only 2 colors, while other towns use 3 colors, and still others have traffic control built around a 4-color system. In some cities, the lights are so arranged that drivers must stop on the amber light. In other towns, drivers may go on amber and green. In still other communities, the amber light alone appears on both sides at the same time. Some cities have lights which are augmented by semaphores, while in other cities, the lights look like little houses hanging from wires. Even now, traffic engineers are working with safety councils toward a national standardization of the traffic signal system. And there is every prospect that as soon as it is feasible, motorists will travel from border to border and from coast to coast and meet the same old friend with the same clear message all the way.
Switch from Hots to Snow Fresh Filter.
Cool. Cool, Snow Fresh, cool, taste so clean, so refreshing, so cool.
As cool and as clean as a breath of fresh air. That's Snow Fresh Filter Cool.
So cool.
Your mouth feels clean, your throat refreshed, the finest leaf tobacco, mild, refreshing menthol, and the world's most thoroughly tested filter. That's Snow Fresh Filter Cool. Why don't you switch from hots to the Snow Fresh coolness of cool? As cool and as clean as a breath of fresh air. America's most refreshing cigarette. Snow Fresh Filter Cool.
Are you going to the dance tomorrow night? Yeah, if I get my homework done.
There is a whole new generation coming, soon to be young adults. A bigger than ever market of people who have a history of their own, who remember all the way back to Eisenhower, who probably never saw their mother use a ringer, think automobiles are household appliances, and have reserved seats on the next rocket to leave the Earth. But right now, you can ride along with the happy go spending, buy it now, young adults of today. Ride with the young adults who are buying 70% of all homes sold. Swing into the orbit of more than 2.5 million families. Right now, with the only mass magazine aimed exclusively at young adults.
H-minus 1 minute. Put on your goggles. Observers without goggles must face away from the blast.
On the silent desert, the test objects waited.
H-minus 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Elapsed before we were permitted to view at first hand the results of the explosion. During all this activity, the mass feeding group was improvising to feed the test observers. I particularly remember some roast beef. It was done to perfection and roasted in cans which could have been salvaged from demolished buildings. I watched the people eating and realized that mass feeding is an important job in civil defense. I took a last look at the debris and devastation. This time it was only a test, a well-planned test, not a real attack. It was a test of the things we use in everyday life.
The Central Mall is flanked by a well-balanced selection of retail stores in every field and price bracket, which provides all customers with the most complete comparative shopping in the entire area. And there is plenty of free parking, over 5,000 individual parking spaces. "76 fine stores in all at the present time, which will expand to approximately 100. The major department store in the center is the magnificent three-story Macy operation. One of the gayest attractions at Hillsdale is the fabulous farmers market, which draws throngs of people day and night for dining and food shopping. The outstanding feature of the farmers market is the fact that each of the 22 departments is run by a specialist in his particular field. The colorful dining patio is surrounded by a most unique and diversified collection of convenient stands, offering a complete selection of American and foreign foods. There is everything from a mouth-watering smokehouse and typical American barbecue stand to Chinese and Spanish foods, along with all the popular Italian dishes. The other departments in this huge market flank the central aisle and offer every type and description of food from all over the world. Each type of food is handled by a separate concessionaire who is a specialist in buying and preparing these edibles to suit the most particular gourmet. The personal service of the farmers market meat department is one of its greatest attractions, with extensive cutting rooms and a staff of expert butchers to serve the finest of meats. The expansive produce department offers a choice selection of the freshest grown fruits and vegetables available. Of course, the mainstay of any food operation is the grocery department, and the farmers market boasts one of the most modern and complete departments of this kind in the area. All in all, Hillsdale's unique farmers market is the most diversified food market in Northern California. And now let's see just how shopping can be fun, real fun, at this modern and convenient shopping center. The success of Hillsdale's Spring Auto Show prompted the car dealers and the merchants to request another show in the fall. Held in early November, Hillsdale's Auto Show was actually the first complete presentation of 1957 models in the entire country. The increased traffic built our total attendance over a 10-day period to some 300,000 people. Everyone seems to love new automobiles, young and old alike, and the show was a huge success for the shopping center as well as for the dealers. Christmas 1956 saw Hillsdale converted into a veritable wonderland of lights. The giant 50-foot tree of lights on the face of the Macy building was the focal point from the highway. Giant evergreens were colorfully decorated in various areas throughout the center. The entire center has the warm feeling of a real old-fashioned Christmas. The store windows and mall areas were completely decorated and flooded with over 5 miles of lights. Highlight of the children's attractions was the giant Toyland on the mall. The biggest toys in the whole wide world, we called them. 15 of these huge animated toys were placed from one end of the mall to the other. Each one had a separate Christmas message for the children and would talk or sing at the touch of a button. This giant Toyland, of course, was the feature of Hillsdale's Christmas advertising, and 30-foot replicas of the toy giraffe were used as cutouts on the spectacular billboards leading to the center.
Isn't the chicken lucky that eggs are the shape they are? Not square, not rectangular, but perfectly egg-shaped. And aren't you lucky, too, that the eggs you buy from Kroger's are perfectly egg-shaped and as fresh as the hen can make them? Cackling fresh eggs from Kroger, gathered fresh and cooled on the spot, then whisked away in a real cool truck for grading and dating by a government inspector. Every egg graded, every carton dated in a cool, cool grading room. From the hen to the Kroger dairy case, they're kept cool all the way, so they're grade A all the way. Guaranteed to ride high in the skillet. Guaranteed cackling fresh. Who but Kroger sells cackling fresh eggs?
Nobody.
The manifestations of radiation in the body are many and range from slight to severe. Loss of hair, nausea, bleeding, inability of the body to resist other ailments and make its own repairs. These are some of them, and they may be climaxed by the ultimate symptom, death itself. However, complete recovery is more probable. The illness runs a course from causes to effects. Much of the mystery surrounding it is maintained by the general public, which is determined to regard radioactivity as potent and irresistible as the evil spirits of the Indians. This can be partly explained by man's fear of dangers he cannot sense, a fear fanned into widespread misunderstanding and by sensational speculation on what radiations can do. Radioactivity is dangerous, but to say that it's deadly, period, is as misleading as giving a flat answer to the question, how high is up? The radium-treated dial of your watch, for instance, is harmless. Nuclear emanations became a threat when man isolated such hot stuff as radium and worked intimately with it, broadening its scientific, medical, and industrial use. A threat, however, that has been effectively controlled through observing caution. Not even the atomic bomb burst, man's boldest venture in releasing atomic power, is the DDT of humanity from which there is no escape. For it has its known limits, calling for preventive measures as clear-cut as those doctors lay down in telling people how to ward off infectious diseases. The first and obvious one is, be someplace else when it happens. Distance lends considerable enchantment to an A burst.
Task Force 57 Chevrolet trucks are here. Task Force 57 Chevrolet. Chance of the Alcan run.
There's a road that lies under northern skies toward the land of the midnight sun. It crosses the crest of the great Northwest, and it's known as the Alcan Run. And from Dawson's Creek with a task force fleet of the 57 line, we'd blaze the way for Chevrolet to conquer the Alcan grind. Our engines were sealed, our tanks were sealed, for once we were underway, every mile of that ride would be certified by the seal of the AAA. Cameo Carrier 57, one-ton panel 57, dump body tandem axle, van panel body low cab forward, 5-speed transmission tractor trailer Powermatic, the trucks of the Task Force Fleet.
A great new champ in every weight, the Mighty Six, a great new eight. No other truck so up to date as Chevrolet, the champion of them all.
If you haul loads over all kinds of roads, Chevy trucks are number one. They're engineered best and proven by test, the champs of the Alcan Run.
Task Force 57 Chevrolet trucks are here. Task Force 57 Chevrolet, champs of the Alcan Run.
The offensive weapons of tomorrow are here today. Supersonic. Super destructive. Seemingly unresistible. To protect the future of America, the defense techniques of tomorrow had to be discovered now. They were discovered in electronics. That is how SAGE and bursting computers into military service. Electronics for combat use means new concepts, new tools, new weapons. You are listening to the heartbeat of the SAGE computer. Every instrument in this room is constantly monitoring, testing, pulse-taking, controlling. For this is the programming and operations center for the SAGE computer which surrounds it. To it come continuous streams of data, which it continuously absorbs and stores on magnetic drums, tapes, and cores. Data from radar units, Texas towers, picket ships, early warning aircraft, ground observer corps, weather bureaus. To say nothing of up-to-the-minute data on all regularly scheduled commercial air flights. It also packs away information as to the number, location, and characteristics of all military craft, all anti-aircraft guns, all defensive missiles in the area. And this computer is on the job around the clock with 24-hour-a-day reliability. It is really two computers, but only one is operating the system. The other, with the same vast memory, performs as a slave, checking calculations and results, ready to take over in a matter of seconds should the master computer falter. Time is everything. This is electronic defense in depth. And what better reason for an effective air defense? But is this protection enough? Here is protection too. The protection which comes with the possession of weapons of retaliation. Just as our defensive powers had been advancing, so have our instruments of attack. The demands of plane warfare require the fantastic ability of modern computers. The question was, how could the electronic computer be made airborne? The same multiple arrangement principle which was applied in the design of this doll furniture enabled the Air Force to procure an airborne computer. By designing an electronic assembly packaged in self-contained units, which are then joined, a computer of flexible construction was achieved. It can either be installed in a compact unit, or parts can be distributed according to the space available. Self-contained units make it easier to achieve durable construction and easier to test each unit for reliability. Under all conditions, an airborne computer is likely to be exposed to, and some highly unlikely ones. And as long as we're on guard, as long as we're ready to look ahead and move ahead, the future of America is secure.
Hey, that supply of Ritz seems on the fritz.
No, stop, darling. Don't blow your top. I always keep another box handy.
Dandy! He knows Ritz crackers are richer, crisper, and his mouth is full, or he'd help us whisper. Only Nabisco bakes Ritz.
So, there went Alan with his new driver's license, and Frank and Betty right behind, on as nice a summer day as you could wish for.
Why don't they look, Ralph? Tell me. Why don't they look?
Mom, I'm home. Oh yeah, Mom's over at Aunt Miriam's house. Whew, winning basketball game sure makes you hungry. One super burger coming up. Cheese and I'll have a super burger supreme. Fire! 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 Help! Fire! Ooh, that was a close one, Guardiana.
You were lucky this time, Kevin. Now, fire safety is one area where being alert really pays off. And you made that flame way too high, and you left the paper on the stove. If you were aware of that danger, you could have avoided it. You know, something as simple as a can of baking soda spread on that fire would have given you precious moments to think.
You're right, safety woman.
Do you know the Danger Dodger salute, Kevin?
Aware, alert, alive.
That's right.